to this week's reading. If you are new to this channel, welcome, and my name is Julia. On this channel I like to make tarot pick-a-card videos and other tarot videos, and I am a huge astrology enthusiast, so I like to combine tarot, stars, and the spirit to deliver you the most accurate reading possible. And you can also find me on Instagram or visit my blog down in the description box below, find everything there. And let's just jump straight into our group selection. So today we will have 4 groups, and as always, meditate on your stones and crystals and see you in your reading. So hello and welcome to today's group selection, and we will have 4 groups today, and let's now get a closer look to each crystal. So here we have group number 1. Then group number 2. Kind of has these little glimmering parts in there. This is group number 3. And group number 4. And now let's take our 3 deep breaths very consciously, mindfully, through our belly. Inhale and exhale. Inhale again and exhale. And one last time. Inhale and exhale. And now you can ask yourself, either out loud or in your mind, what is my next week going to look like? What do the upcoming 7 days have in stock for me? What do I need to know for the upcoming week? And as you do so, let your glance wander across the crystals, or stones in this case as well. And you can pause the video and meditate a little bit longer on the stones if you need to. And make sure not to choose so much with the eye or your mind, but more with your gut feeling. Just watch where your gut drives you towards to. Which stone does it draw you towards? And as soon as you are ready, head down to the description box, click on the according timestamp, and see you in your reading. Hello and welcome group number 1. So, let me just put the other stones to the side. So if you chose this crystal right here, then this is going to be your reading. So let's put the other stones a little bit further to the side, and also put the dices a little bit more here. So for you, I feel like using the Illuminated Tarot deck, the Ethereal Vision. So very beautiful deck. I like it a lot, and I like it especially for dream interpretation. Let's keep this stone up there. But overall, I just like this deck a lot, and it has a very creative and very water signy energy to it in a way. But also a lot of that is, in a way, very, air energy, very, very light. And somehow I keep talking about the feel of this deck so much, and maybe that even is a topic for you. Feeling things out, having a feeling for things. Trusting your gut. It might be a topic for you. Also the stone with the yellow sprinkles in there kind of resonates there. And okay. So we have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, and it all came quite slow. So I feel group number one, you definitely have been going through some challenges recently when it comes to the notion of grounding, the notion of safety maybe, in not only a material sense, also Judgment reversed. And I feel there's sort of like, I need to think of one of the last readings where we had a Pentacles group, which was very much, taken over by all these topics of stability and material matters and all that. And I feel you might be that group coming back here. So we have the Chariot in reverse, and everything in reverse, by the way. So, okay, this is now a quick one. King of Pentacles reverse, Five of Swords reverse, Temperance. So, with King of Pentacles I also feel, and with Five of Swords in reverse, I feel you might have fallen out or had an argument either with not necessarily a fatherly figure, but somebody who might be a little bit older than you, but not necessarily with a huge age gap. Maybe a little bit older than you, maybe also in a senior position, maybe at work. Okay, that was a weird one. That kind of flipped, but it fell out weirdly. Overall, I get such a weird vibe with you, group number one. It is as if you are... Yeah, I feel as if you are not admitting something that you actually know, and you just don't want something to be reality that actually is reality. And I also have this weird urge to resort the space constantly here, so I feel that might also be your energy. It's like you know that actually something is the case and that something has been flipped over, something has been rearranged, and still you seem to be struggling to grasp on it. So we have the Ace of Swords. My god, so many aces here. I think you're going through something very major at the moment, group number one. I feel like for you, and you have the Seven of Cups in reverse, in a position which is very much about you gaining clarity. And let me clarify them or... Okay. So yeah, I feel that is really something that is internally for you, that you must do. You must promote that clarity, create that clarity for you. Because what I wanted to clarify, if it's if the Seven of Cups is gonna be something that is coming from the outer world and from someone else, an outer impulse, or if that is something that you actually need to create and that is up to you and is your action. And with the Three of Swords in reverse here, I definitely see that as an action from your side of things. So group number one, with Judgment in reverse in this position here, I see that, and with the Five of Swords, I feel like you have a nature that actually is very understanding of the concept of forgiveness, or also understanding that there barely are black and white areas or feelings or aspects in things. Actually, to be really honest, I have rarely faced a situation or story where things necessarily are black and white. So I feel like you actually have the ability to embrace this and see this. But what I also feel is that you sometimes might hesitate extremely to still prove your point in those situations. And I feel like this falling out here, or this upheaval situation going on with the Pentacles energy in your reading, I feel that that has a lot to do with your ability to really get your point across or get your feelings across, you know, get your point either emotionally or cognitively across. And also, you with the Four of Swords here, I feel like you, and it's reverse. I feel like you, group number one, you have. Let me see. So yeah, with we get four, we get Cancer here, and we get Pluto here actually. So again, speaks I think a lot about, yeah, you basically suppressing that side, which is, you know, about it, because with the four is kind of a number of materialization, and we had the four, you know, with the dices and with Cancer and with Pluto. And in that field, the Cancer overall as a sign, I feel, Cancerian energy is very, it's very focused on security in a very unique way. It's one of those signs which has a very focused element which they really can kind of implement in a lot of areas in life, which plays out, the same thing plays out in a variety of different scenarios. And I feel that security aspect somehow is the thing which you are now struggling with or working on, or something major is going on there. It's a general reading, so we cannot nail down every detail, but this is something that is very majorly keeping you occupied at this moment. And it is because you seem to be struggling to materialize yourself in there, to materialize your notion of security. And not only emotionally, though I sense for a lot of you, group number one, this might be about emotional stability. This might be about creating that emotional stability and clarity for you. And understanding, you know, with the Five of Swords reversed here, that you never have a situation where, you know, a victory or being the winner or the winning side in an argument or discussion or in any situation, it rarely comes with, you know, only the perks of the victory. It most often in reality, these situations come with a loss, and very often it is basically a way out, you know, which is outweighing the other. And I feel for you, it is a lot about you trying to find that balance. This is why I think you actually have this awareness and you have this notion and soft spot for these topics. But I feel like you might sometimes be rushing it, or in the past you might have rushed it sometimes and focused on activity, and maybe pushing things instead of actually first preparing the grounds by being very vocal about what your stand on things is. And I feel that is something where you actually also might have compromised, you know, some of that stability, some of that, you know, this is where I guess you also got this hurting point in a way. Well, let us dive into the next column, which is about your focus. And for that, with the four, you know, I feel like in the Pentacles reversed, I feel like taking the Druid Tarot, which I feel is very earthy. So group number one, what can we focus on? Focus group number one. Group number one, focus. So, Seven of Wands. So focus. Okay, I feel like the Mage belongs here, but not the other ones actually. So number one. Okay, that looks good. So, and yeah, this one jumped out too. So I feel But I feel that is kind of more on this side and is a global thing, kind of back of the deck energy here. So yeah, we have, by the way, Temperance again here. I was looking at the card and I was trying to figure out the number, but it is Temperance. We have Temperance from another deck, second time you're reading. So you might also be a Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising, or you might be dealing in this situation with somebody who is a Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising, maybe also Venus, because Venus also has a quite personal placement. And somehow I get it might be a Sag Venus in this case somehow too, with those pentacles also. So either you or somebody you're dealing with might have that sign, but only for some of you. I don't sense this as a huge thing. Also, with the Ace of Cups being double present here, and again we have the seven of Wands here, which in this deck particularly and in reverse is depicted very much in a very defensive position, but not as traditionally in the Rider Waite from the front, but from the back, a view from the back of this person defending themselves. And for you, group number one, I feel with the High Priestess and the Ace of Cups there, really rely on your intuition a little bit more. Train your intuition a little bit more and really begin to listen to it a little bit more, because while you might think that security or emotional stability is created with this aspect of having it physically, by maybe having a person who is very emotionally stable, or just having a lot of financial resource even, or material resource, that creates stability, or this notion of that. But in fact, I feel for you, group number one, you will be surprised how much stability you gain from you being to express and get these things across freely. Like cultivating that ability for you, I feel that is first off, feel very liberating and healing for you. On the other hand, it's going to help you to get out of this stagnation and suppression even. I get suppression somehow. Getting out of this suppressive and defensive feeling, and it will give you the possibility to start something new, that actually resonates with you on a level that is really fulfilling you. But it will most likely ask from you being very, very awake and very attentive about the approach you take for things. It might require from you to try untraditional approaches. With the Mage here, I feel like you might get in the situation which is like, it's tricky and you really need to think of what decision you make here. I feel like you will have the situation within the next week around that time frame where you need to take a decision which will very much determine how your continuous story in this scenario is. But while making that decision, keep in mind that being true to your feelings and your your opinion and view on things, being true about it and staying confident about it and not compromising it in the wrong spots is going to be very crucial for you. While still that doesn't exclude still treating your opposite person there in this situation with respect and being respectful towards them, but also towards yourself. So I feel that is a very major theme for you, group number one. And I get this new beginning energy, and here we also have in these cards like the moon above there and a lot of water. Like I feel like you might actually also have strong Cancer placements, so you might be also a Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising, I feel. But let's see. The thing is, I feel for you the upcoming days are going to be quite tumultuous emotionally, but I don't see necessarily that there's gonna be like this fallout situation, I feel it has happened already. And I feel that now it's not gonna be a conflict situation. I feel like it is up to you what situation you make it now within the next days. And just keep in mind that within this lies huge potential for you to actually find this balance and this fulfilling middle line that you have been looking for a long time, I think. Basically, what I mentioned with the security feeling, security notion, stability. And I feel security and stability are major, major topics for you, but I feel also like what I see here is very much kind of a reminder that these things very often lie actually in flexibility, in allowing things to be fluent. And like in this temperance card, I feel that depicts it really, really nicely. And I feel that depiction is very, very beautiful. And also in this deck, you have the woman looking at this essence that she's holding in her hand and examining it, and that she has kind of brewed in this cauldron here. So I feel that also adds to this meaning. But let's look into some self-care ways for you for the upcoming 7 days, dear group number 1. So let's see how you can take care best of yourself, your soul, body, and mind within the next 7 days. Ooh, it's weird with you, group number 1. First, the cards just don't come, and when they come in a pile. It's really strange. So you have rebirth, you have synergy with the green man, and you have forest and breathe. So this card comes out very often for a lot of groups in these readings, and this is a very constant and very straight reminder that you, group number 1, might be one of those people who recharge very, very well in nature. And this is where you can reconnect with yourself, with spirit guides, with your ancestors maybe, but overall where you can really well connect with your inner self and kind of, slow down your breath a little, relax, notice how tense you might actually be in a lot of places. And synergy is talking very much about, also it binds in nicely with this rebirth topic, because it very much also with this card here where you can kind of see this face of a man, but it's all constructed by these creatures and plants and this scenery here. But it very much talks about everything being one, everything is one. So everything is intertwined, everything is connected. And with rebirth, it reminds us just very much of how sometimes, the thing is that in almost everything, basically in all patterns we encounter in nature, we have this power line within, when it dies, it rises up again and kind of starts the cycle new again. Again, with cycles, we are here with these moons again. It talks a lot about cycles, rejuvenation, and everything being one. I feel you, group number 1, you can very well recharge first in nature, but also for you, I feel in particular, maybe also practicing gratitude. So keeping maybe a small gratitude journal or something like that might be really helpful for you. Just acknowledging all the things you actually do have in life currently and how much resource actually lies in your life and within you. Acknowledging that and really being aware of that, I feel that can calm you down very much. And that binds in very well, this very abundant energy we have here. It binds in very well with these pentacles that are flipped for you and that are now for you something really challenging. They are very challenging. But on the other hand, I feel it is sometimes really up to you to create this clarity and to really create this awareness for the resources you in fact do have present. And it's not something that just needs to come to you. It is already here, you already have it. And lastly, I would like to pick out one card, or how many cards will fall out for you, of the musician's deck here, which is also very interesting. I like to use it a lot. And you know, with music, it's always, again, we have 3 cards here falling out for you. With music, it's interesting. Sometimes you just hear the exactly right song in the exactly right time, and a very interesting way to sometimes receive the message you need to hear. So we have Hildegard von Bingen for you, some nice medieval classic, which is with the quote, "Be a feather in the wind of God and gain knowledge through studying the unknown." And lastly, "The soul is not in the body is in the soul." So I feel always that her card talks a lot about understanding that it's not necessarily the material, physical entity coming first, but it's the not visible and not materialized entity, this emotional entity or this cognitive entity, which doesn't have a physical body but is very much what we are, that might actually be what is there in the first place and what is the major component of us. And also with Nick Cave, we have a very interesting card which goes very well with this energy in this read, but it kind of adds a little bit more of a radical twist to it, because the first quote is, "Be the last one at the cannibal's dinner and accept your limitations and be a wonderful disaster." And waiting for inspiration is nothing but waiting. So it very much is urging you to take action, yet on the other hand, also it has some sort of rebellious energy to it. But I would really suggest you to listen to his stuff, because it's hard to comprehend like in a very short reading. But I feel like his work might really be something that might kind of give you an additional dimension to this reading's message. So with Björk, we have, by the way, for me, huge Pisces energy and overall huge water sign energy with Björk always. Consume entire life and celebrate an orgy with the heavens and the sea, and optimism is energy. So also kind of reminding, I feel, you of the power of manifestation that you actually have, and that a lot of those things, and again, intertwines nicely with this call for action. I feel like you, group number 1, you really, it would be good for you to remember that you have more abundance and more resources handy than you sometimes might be aware of. And really do take action. And it is up to you to create this security, this stability for you, and provide yourself that safe haven that you might have been looking for, and that sometimes doesn't lie in something very obvious you might think, but in fact lies in that flexibility, in that flow, and just going with that motion and finding a rhythm that is good for you and that makes you feel stable. So that's all I have for you, group number 1. I wish you a wonderful and productive week, and see you in the next video. Bye! Hello and welcome to your reading group number 2. So if you chose this crystal here, this is going to be your reading. So for you, I feel like using the Osho Zen Tarot to map out the initial events and emotions, just topics, things for the upcoming 7 days. So let's get into it. And I'm very curious because I have a feeling that we're having a major topic again this week here, and let's see. So far a lot of air. Basically a very rational energy here. And the thing kind of continues on. So with you, group number 2, I feel like you might restrain and keep back your resource in a way which isn't actually benefiting anyone, I feel. I don't know why I get this now so directly and clearly, but I feel like you're holding back your opinion. Also, I feel like, you are maybe afraid of getting like a know-it-all vibe, and that might be the reason. I feel that has kind of inhibited you maybe in the way how you portray yourself. And maybe you have, some of you, I feel group number 2, you have actually had to deal with some doubts recently about your ability, your knowledge maybe. And I feel though that you should not allow that to make you settle for less. Because there's no guilt in you being, maybe more curious than other people at times, maybe being more lost in the details of things than other people. I feel that actually is a huge gift you have. And on the other hand, that is maybe not always received with the most kind reactions maybe at times from other people. But that doesn't say anything about you. Whoop, here we go. It's a mess. I feel like you sometimes feel like that. I feel like you sometimes feel like a mess. Maybe a little bit, because of that. But there's really no reason to. Because I feel with you, I feel group number 2, you are group number 2, and you get 2 2s already in your reading here. And I feel for you it's so much about finding balance within the next days. This week is going to be for you so much about balance. And balancing out your expectations, balancing out, sometimes how your mind works. If you see the positive or the negative side of things, I feel kind of balancing out how much you take in of both will play out very much for you in this week. So here we have past lives, we have travel. I feel as I said, group number 2, and you have the Lovers in reverse here. With your group number 2, I feel you have a huge desire for understanding things, a very huge interest in things. You get excited about things easily, and you, again, as easily you get excited about them, even childlike. You actually have a not at all childlike attitude in exploring that. And that actually might sometimes maybe be the problem, because keeping that playfulness in it would be not only more beneficial for you, I feel that also might create a space of more reception from others. Because what I feel like, let me see with the lovers. Yeah, we have intellect here. I feel like you taking things sometimes so seriously and so much into depth actually consumes the playfulness and even the exciting part out of them. And obviously this doesn't apply even to just one particular area of life. And I feel though that though this is a general reading and we cannot nail down every detail in this, I feel some of you might have a particular situation which is linked to this. And I think during the upcoming week you will be challenged very much to kind of find balance between this living in the moment attitude and taking a decision, one step by the other. And also, just because you might see all scenarios playing out, both negative and positive ones, or both sides to things, it doesn't necessarily make it easier to understand what your conclusion of a situation is. It in fact just complicates it sometimes even more. But finding that balance there and not kind of driving you nuts on that, I feel this is really, really a point that is going to be popping up within the next days for you, group number 2. And in the end, I think though, this will help you immensely to explore, as much as it's fun to explore different things in the world and in life, but it will help you explore yourself. And let me see with the focus, actually, we will use this deck again with the focus column here that we have usually. So we have here we have new vision and we have the burden. And new vision is being the thing that you can focus on, which will maybe be fruitful for you. And I feel that plays in so nicely also with this card, because it kind of, if you look at them both kind of side by side, you can see how they both seem to be like one movement seems to be the next movement after the other one, or before the other one. So they kind of flow in together nicely. And I feel you will actually discover kind of a new level to your interest and passion about exploring things, learning things, and also showing them to other people if you give this a more playful approach. And this burden aspect, I feel like you very much feel restricted and judged maybe by other people. And even though it might be the case, and even though this is not something that you should take deeply to heart, but it also is the thing that I feel like when you receive that from people, it in a way reminds you of some feelings or thoughts you might even have yourself about this particular situation and behavior. So let's see what the advice is. What is the advice? So, wholeness. And in this deck, it is the Ace of Pentacles, actually, this card. So, yeah, ground yourself. Ground yourself in your actual process, in your feelings, in your perception. Ground yourself, and not in the way, slow and block yourself or just take out the pace and things. Maybe even that, like maybe even take out the pace, but more in this balancing way. It doesn't mean that you need to cut the force or something. No, not in that sense, or go really passive, or just go only introspective. Not at all, because also with this card you have a very expressive energy, and also in this card you can see how in the bottom there is a person, and basically this character that is here in the middle of the card is kind of emerging from this person that is bowing down here, almost invisible, almost falling down to dust and ashes, and giving life to this other leveled up, upgraded, whatever, new reborn version. It is kind of a form of rebirth which you see in that card. And I feel these both go in very, very nicely. And you have this card kind of complementing that, finding that balance. Even here you have this circle here, and here it is kind of zoomed in, as if you would have zoomed into this circle and see this scenario there. So definitely group number 2, free yourself from both the constriction that comes with the judgment of others, but also judge yourself less. though finding out that reason, the root for that might give you the insight that actually balancing out some of your overthinking, maybe even, and your that both skill but also sometimes complicated a situation where you get too lost and too serious about things, like too lost in detail, going too deep into it, making it, giving things also sometimes more importance than they have. It might be a topic here. So the bottom of the deck, by the way, is stress, 7 of Wands reversed. So yeah, I feel like actually that is what also might play in here. You end up with this approach here, you sometimes end up also juggling more things than is good for you. And also that sometimes might cause conflict and kind of, conflicted reception from people. But yeah, for you, also interesting again, I want to throw a dice regarding, energies which play in here. So we have the Sun, and we have Scorpio and 5th house. So yeah, also maybe over analyzing. Yeah, again, we come with this topic like with being sometimes too deep in things and taking them a little bit too far. Might definitely be the case here. It might. But as I said, don't worry too much about that, because I feel what actually is the more visible part of you is this very interesting and vivid and very very colorful persona of you, which is very interested in people, in different things in life, in different cultures, in different aspects. It's very with a very vivid and active mind. And you actually, in fact, you might have very, let me see again. I have Virgo and 4 and Venus here. So you might be strong earth placement, Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising, or Venus. And with the 4, again, that's interesting because another group got also the 4. And overall, I feel like the very global topic of this week, the upcoming week, is security and stability in very different interpretations and angles of that topic. And for you, I feel it is this stability and trust in yourself in a way, and really being able to create that stability, that finding that stable point where things benefit both you and others, and you see both the negatives and positives of things, but you end up finding a conclusion which is taking them all in account. So finding that stabilizing balance. So it's more for you, I feel, group number 2, it is more about the balance aspect of things. The balance aspect, but in order to balance things out, sometimes we just need to place this base. If you imagine, one of those things, children's playground, basically, we need to place the base and locate the base at the perfect point, so things are equaled out and evened out. And it's sometimes not like huge engineering around the thing itself, but where you place that point. And I feel for you, it is this aspect of stability and security, because I get very, very much like the very similar energy here with your reading. But let's see, group number 2, how you can take care of yourself best during the upcoming 7 days. And so we have the Green Man and Eagle. Eagle connection, Green Man and synergy. And the Green Man talks a lot about everything being one and connected as a whole. And also has kind of a rebirth character to it, but not so much focused on the cycle of things, but on the resource of things, that, everything kind of, and again, it has this cycle component to it, of course, even here. But in this card, you can basically see like this entire abundance scenario happening. In the Green Man's face, you basically see it in all these plants and animals in this card. So, everything is connected and everything is one. So you always, we always have the the resource and the energy for new life, it is somewhere. If it's not in one point, then it will be in another. If one thing is not ready to give that new life, then another thing will be. So it is very much again about balance in this context, I feel. And with the eagle, it talks about connecting both to our higher selves, to our inner selves, but also to our ancestors, very directly to also our spirit guides, because this is like, for me, this is a very strong spirit guide card. And I feel like for you, this might be a very important exercise at this moment, kind of finding that guidance and that reassurance in yourself and or in your resource, not looking for it in the outer world so much, because I feel that is where you are with the Four of Cups basically here depicted, and also with a very interesting card. It's interesting, again, I like very often how, I very much stick to traditionally based decks, but they have different interpretations. And with this deck, you see kind of these faces here surrounding this person, which grounds herself and kind of finds peace in that moment. And she seems to be so stable and so grounded in her zone in a way that those voices can't even influence her or get near her or really change anything about that. So you even like have these hands here reaching in, but she seems to be protected from that just by her posture, and also the water, how it is like contained here, how she's kind of protecting that that source of that emotion, and that it reaches even further up into her, like she's kind of protecting her emotional pool, her emotional resource, from all of that, from all those influences. And overall, the Four of Cups for me are like that not settling for less card. And in this deck, it's very much also like shielding ourselves off of influences that we don't want to have in decisions that we need to take, or where we need to rely on ourselves. Like the opinions of other people are valuable, especially when they are brought with constructive criticism and stuff like that. But very often you will have people surrounding you who are just very much about, saying something out of envy, saying something out of an emotion, saying just something to say something. And this is not the kind of voices or influence that should be able to stress you out, to burden you. Or those people are not in any single way entitled to be the ones leading you the way or something. Like, this is not the power that you should give them even. So I feel for you it is very much about reconnecting with your values and finding that grounding, balancing core within yourself. And group number 2, I feel this is as deep as this reading gets, but it's a very positive image we can see here, a very positive scenario, to be fair, playing out. Because with, especially with this Ace of Pentacles here, and with the 4 that we got in the dices, I feel like for you, maybe not within the next week particularly, but for you, this entire process, this growth, will have something very exciting in stock. Like, I feel overall for a lot of people, like collectively, this is the vibe that I get. But for many of us, like the upcoming weeks, are going to bring something exciting, interesting, very fulfilling. But in order to be prepared for that, I feel a lot of us, and I'm saying us because I really don't exclude myself from there, because I feel this is a very global thing, but a lot of us need to kind of go through some preparation process. And while, for instance, mine is entirely different and playing out in entirely different ways in an entirely different area of life and things, but this is, this again, I also have my path and scenario there, you have yours there, but in the end it's just kind of a funnel leading us into the place where we are supposed to, to find what we are working towards and what we're looking for. So let me also check the music deck, for an artist where maybe there might be some message hidden a Spotify shuffle playlist with that artist, you know? So let's just see to whom you should listen to maybe receive some messages, or just, you know, what artist might resonate at the moment well with your energy, be beneficial for you. So let's see. Wow, that is a tough one. Isn't coming easy for you. Let's see. So, oh, we get Kurt Cobain for you. So, let's see. The quotes are, we all are stuck in this chaos, so let's make some noise. And don't become your own tribute band. And you cannot buy Teen Spirit. So, the thing is, I feel this resonates very well with your energies reading. Because I feel, especially that sentence with "don't become your own tribute band," I feel like don't get stuck too much. Don't get stuck too much on what might have served you for quite a long time, and it might have been your thing, and it might have been it might have been the right way to go, and it might have gotten you very far. But the truth is that the growth that you might be looking for, and that curiosity that you carry in, and also I feel some of you, though it didn't come up here very prominently, and I somehow now need to think of some fire energy somewhere, or Aquarius energy as well, might be somewhere here. Yeah, I might actually. I think Aquarius might be a thing. Aquarius kind of rings with this in a way, resonates there and rings a bell here. So I feel like this is a very, very important journey you're going through at this moment with this particular topic. So kind of, you know, this line between staying true to yourself and what has served you and your principles, etc. But also understanding that, you know, that balance and that change, and maybe sometimes meandering a little bit between those extremes actually is where your real peace and balance lies, which gives you that sustainability to continue to grow and enjoy the journey. So group number 2, this is all I have for you. Put on some Nirvana and have a good time. Have a good time. I wish you a wonderful week, and you know, try to sometimes just strike that balancing point. Remember, it's sometimes not about changing all the circumstances, the entire playground, or like the entire mechanism of something, but just finding that neat, sweet point where things balance out nicely for you. So thank you for tuning into this reading. Have a wonderful week, and see you in the next video. Bye! Hello and welcome to your reading group number 3. So for you, I feel like using the Druid Tarot for mapping out the essential emotions, events, just topics for the upcoming week. So let's get into it. And I am very curious if we are going to kind of have this global topic continuing here, because for the other groups I already kind of got a very global energy, and I'm very interested how it's going to play out in your reading. So we have Strange Reverse for you as the first card. And let's see, I feel like the rest belongs back into the deck. 8 of Pentacles. Okay. also reversed. And the Chariot, oh my god. The Chariot has popped up for every group now, but you are the first one where it is upright. So, very interesting. And also it kind of confirms my feeling on this global energy thing, which is very Cancerian, very Cancerian. So, very much about security and stability and all that. And Eight of Swords, yes, I mean, some internalized conflicts also been going on here. I'm saying also because the Eight of Swords has recently come up in a lot of readings in general for different people, and also now with the groups in different contexts always. You know, it's as if you know, basically the same thing, but just looking at it from different angles and through a different prism every time. But yes, Eight of Pentacles reversed. I feel like some of you, group number 3, have been actively kind of taking, you know, a rest from your productivity in order to... Yeah, we have the Devil's card here. Knight of Pentacles, very interesting combination, to be honest. Four of Cups and Seven of Pentacles here. So I feel like some of you have really, at the moment, taken the time to focus on maybe a project, or bottom of the deck is Four of Pentacles. So maybe on a project that is a little bit more of personal value to you, that has a little bit more individual meaning for you, and that is a little bit more about cultivating something new. So I feel whatever is your usual substantial job or occupation or everyday business right now is put a little bit on hold. But not that you are dropping it or something, but just focus-wise, I feel like you are at the moment focusing a little bit more on, you know, realizing your own potential and bringing that into some fruition. Also, I feel like you are trying to head for something that is providing you a little bit more, not necessarily security, but some hope and vision for something to go for, you know, to look forward to aim for. The Six of Swords reversed here is, and with the Four of Pentacles being the bottom of the deck though, is kind of, I believe, a little bit urging you to not kind of ditch things before you are really sure that you want to do that. So I feel some of you might be considering some changes, some shifts in, you know, what you're doing for a living maybe, and what you are doing on the other hand to kind of fulfill your personal goals. I feel like that is a little bit now not standing necessarily against each other. And let us see the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords. Okay, Two of Pentacles reversed here. So, Two of Pentacles reversed. You know, I feel for you it's not necessarily that those things that I was describing earlier now are playing against each other, but they are not necessarily in the best balance currently for you, I feel. And, Nine of Swords. You know, I kind of put this as a clarifier just overall for the energy with what is going on with like the Swords energy also here. The thing is, I feel like some things haven't been happening fast enough for you in the past, and I see that is about to change drastically here with the Chariot. But I also think that you should not go so hard on yourself with this. I think some of you are prone to this feeling that you haven't done enough, or you haven't applied enough pressure, or you haven't not tried hard enough to achieve that balance and to bring that into balance. And in fact, like looking at it, it is very ironically, because balance is a lot sometimes about like tweaking out that one little thing so all the structure holds. It's not sometimes about re-engineering or rearranging, reforcing the entire thing, which also was a topic for a previous group, by the way. So I feel very much for you, it is a lot about bringing in balance this thing that you're doing to serve the outer world, and the thing that is making you internally happy. And let's just see which energy majorly plays out there right now. We have the moon, we have Capricorn, we have 11th. So definitely this thing with emotions and the grind kind of going sometimes a little bit against each other. And also I feel like you might feel kind of some boredom, some limitation in what you are doing in emotional ways, and not that it's this kind of boredom where you're like, nah, I'm gonna leave it, I'm just gonna throw it and jump to the next one. I don't see you being a person of that sort, not at all. So this is not in your character, and this is not what you're up for doing now. But I feel that you here and here, basically in this thing here, in this row, you are, I think, trying to actually transform this into something that is giving you a little bit more emotional fulfillment. And then kind of brings both worlds together, because material wise and just in terms of having the resource, you are in a good position. But the thing that is kind of missing, and also we have not a single cups card here so far. Okay, we have the Four of Cups, I apologize, but we don't have either way. And even here, it's a card which carries a lot of like lack energy, energy of especially in this deck. In the other decks, the Four of Cups are sometimes depicted a little bit more, like this position where the guy is sitting under the tree and just in denial and not sure if he wants to take it even. Here you have this pure boredom expressed in the card, this pure boredom kind of, in this person's face, and she, knowing or not knowing that there is a cup behind her, like she ignores it even, and all of this gives off this energy. I've tried this and I've tried that, and all of that hasn't been very satisfying or fulfilling. And I feel now you are very much determined to change this. And let's just see what you can focus on best, and what would be beneficial for you as a focus. Okay, so we have Prince of Pentacles, which in this case is the Knight of Pentacles. And we have the Knight of Swords in a potential position, but both also in an obstacle in a sense, I feel that with the Knight of Pentacles, it might for you be a situation that you have discovered something where you are past this novice point, whatever that is, which you are trying to balance out with your major job or occupation or something. It is something that isn't necessarily completely new to you, but you haven't had your moment there yet where you're like, yes, I know how to do this properly, and I am sure that I can master this, and I have some some certain level of mastery in there. It's like you are past the beginner's point, but you are also not there yet that you can say you are really proficient in it. You are still on this road of discovery, but you are past the point of just getting to know it and just encountering it and just learning the basics. You are past that. And I feel like honing your skill even further is going to be beneficial for you. So just don't, maybe even you are trying to make this something that is settled and balanced out and already fully implemented in your life. But maybe for some of you, this is not the way to go yet. Maybe not yet, because for some of you, I sense you are just kind of about to embark this journey, which will take you to an even further point in this thing before you try to settle down, in a sense, by implementing this into more or less constricted and like fixed system. So for some of you, I feel don't force the end of this growth too early and too soon. Don't do this. So, and not for all of you, but for a lot of you, I sense this. Group number 3. Whoops. So let's see. I feel like this actually came out upright. So we have the Prince of Wands, Knight of Wands. And we have the King of Cups reversed there. I'd say the thing is, don't let maybe that motivation and enthusiasm that you have, overtake your emotional needs and resources in a sense. Because the King of Cups, I believe, always talks a lot about some maturity in emotion that none of the Cups characters, to be fair, achieves in other places. Maybe the Queen of Cups, but even her I consider being still very, she's very much symbolizing that connection, while the King of Cups for me always still is symbolizing a connection while not being physically connected with the water. Because even in this image here, you can see that he's not physically connected to it. He's close to it and he's holding it in his cup, and he's there. He's present with his emotions and feelings, but he's not submerged there. He's not like even in direct touch with them, but still he has access to them, and he can control them, not in a way like bending them or suppressing them, but control them in a way of seeing what's going on and reacting accordingly to it. So I feel like that is an important point for you to keep in mind with all this very, the thing is, the only thing we don't have here is the Knight of Cups, but we have the King of Cups here. So otherwise we have all the knights here, and I feel for you, this at the moment is a time where things are perfectly aligned for you. Honestly, they are. But maybe not necessarily in or for the things that you imagine are the ones that are correct and right for you now. Because as I said, for a lot of you, I feel you are still on a journey which will take you to a place which you even are not thinking of right now. But that is actually the place which will, you are not consciously maybe thinking of it, but it is what you actually are looking for and what you actually are striving for, and you think you will achieve that place by now getting this all structured and put nicely into a fixed system, but that might not be the case for all of you. So let's not just jump straight into the cards for you, how you can take care for yourself best during the upcoming week. Because the upcoming week, I feel, for you is going to be about quite some news, regarding this entire topic you're dealing with. And I feel like, let's see, by the way, what the bottom of the deck of this thing was. It was 8 of Cups. 8 of Cups here. So, very interesting too. Because as I said, it talks about a journey. It talks about a journey, and also in this case, not about a necessarily, it's in the night. It's hidden, and it's not maybe even conscious, and it maybe happens during the time when you actually rest and don't pursue. This is where you maybe get your learning and your answers. So really don't try to force things where you feel that, you know, the thing is, you are gonna have your drive anyways. Like, things are gonna happen for you fast anyways. I'm very sure of that, group number 3. But let's now get into your self-care cards, because I see next week being very, very active for you. A lot of things happening there. You may be receiving some news, or either way, feeling very active, feeling very much like being productive, you know, getting things accomplished, getting closer to your goals. So let's see how you can actually recharge. Seems like you've got a perfectly rounded system there, guys. So, let's just see. Come on. Yeah, it's gonna be this one. Oh, let's see. Let's another quick shuffle. So, we have the C here, silence, so, and stillness. Really like taking a break and really pausing the moment and enjoying the silence of things, and something being not in motion. Something being not in motion. And somehow also resonates for me with this card, you know. And the Six of Swords also is a spirit guides card, you know. Looking for more peaceful waters. I feel for you also being close to the water. Being close to the water might be a thing for you, might be very beneficial for you to kind of ground your emotions, just tone down a little bit the noise in your mind. Because I feel that one being very busy for you and a lot of things going on there. But let me see, let me just select a few other cards here from this pile. So we have a rebirth and we have DNA and karma here. And spring equinox, by the way. So rebirth, DNA, karma. So yeah, in fact, for some of you also with the devil here, you know, we didn't touch so much on that card, but for some of you it actually might be working through something karmic, through karmic things, but also it might be a resource, you know, tapping into the experience of the things that you have experienced previously, but also what even your ancestors have experienced and what has been passed on to you. So also kind of exploring maybe a little bit more what your roots are and what lies, you know, within, what gifts lie within your family and things like that. I feel that might be also beneficial to you. Also from that point of view, with rebirth, that you kind of can find inspiration in what overall, you know, your ancestors did, what your ancestors were like. But either way, sometimes through that we can discover the potential that lies within us and which we never even thought of. So overall, I feel for you, it is that when you kind of turn off that noisy mind radio that's going on with you, and when you get out into nature, and particularly maybe into water for some of you, I feel this is where you kind of can make space for this personal growth that you I think should really give space, because this will, I believe, help you balance out all this force that you have here, all this drive that you have here. I feel that is going to be something that brings it together in a way which is sustainable and fruitful. And let me just see what artist maybe you could listen to. Put just on shuffle on Spotify, to maybe receive some additional messages, or just to resonate with your energy during the upcoming week. So let's see. Grace Jones. Learn to be your own sugar daddy. And use the power of, oh my god, how do I explain it? That thing when a bomb basically has, or a grenade where the ring has basically been pulled but it doesn't explode and it's just lying somewhere, and you can still, or with the mines where you can basically still, while it is, no, but mines are a bad example, but the grenades are a good one. So when something actually has been fired but it hasn't exploded, and it's there, kind of dangerous, and kind of still being able to blow up and just causing an unexpected commotion, let's say. So use the power of that, and to survive, the prey needs to become the hunter. So yes, basically switching up traditional roles here, which I also see with those pentacles here being combined with, as I said, with some sort of, in a way, rebellious energy, but not rebellious in a very cliche way, or how, even not cliche, how we traditionally would picture it. Also with the moon in Capricorn, the thing is that Capricorn is tradition. Capricorn, also here we have, by the way, with the devil, with the devil's card, we have Capricorn in here. And Capricorn is a lot of, it has a very karmic component to it. What you give, you shall receive kind of stuff. And on the other hand, also very, traditional rules and roles. The father of tradition, Saturn, the father of tradition, and Capricorn and Saturn being the combo there. So also with Grace Jones, you just have a person who really much, paved just her very, very own path and view on life, and very much carved out a completely unique path and universe. So I feel this is something that you are doing, maybe not necessarily in this wild and extreme way how many people would picture it, but it still is an act of breaking free in a way, and just not with maybe the drama and the noise how most people would picture it. But still, group number 3, I see that the upcoming week is going to contain some major moments for this journey, but overall this journey is a longer one. But I feel you will enjoy it, and you will have a lot of very beautiful experiences there. And also remember the strength you actually have, and remember how much power actually lies within you. And resource-wise, you are in a good position. So for you, I feel you are quite secure, and it's just about balancing those things out for you, and finding how all the pieces in your life, all that puzzle plays together nicely. So thank you so much for tuning into this reading. I wish you a very productive, very good upcoming week, and see you in the next video. Bye! So hello and welcome to your reading, group number 2. So if you chose this stone here, then this is going to be your reading. So for you, I feel like using the Rider-Waite deck to map out the essential events of this week, or the upcoming week, better to say. So we have the Hierophant. I feel they belong together like that here. So the Hierophant, the 5 of Swords, interesting. Group number 2, you might have been through some arguments recently, maybe falling out with people in a way which changed a lot for you, group number 2. changed a lot of you, was very impactful, and came with a lot of experiences. Oh, group number 2. I feel like you are going through some soul searching at this moment, you know, finding maybe coping with some experience that was really kind of a little bit shaking for you, I feel. So, group number 2, let's see. Let's see what's going on there. Yeah, but I feel you are quite close to finalizing something that is either you're close to finalizing something, some of you, I feel, for some of you it is something meaningful, something big, a project that maybe you even worked on with the people that we can see here in the 5 of Swords position depicted, you know. Or it is that you now need to figure out a way to continue on without the other participants in this story. 2 of Cups reversed and Justice reversed, but in a position where actually it actually goes into a kind of weird atmosphere, because it's in a very positive position, but it's reversed. So I feel those go together here too. No, let's keep them here. Oh, a flip there. The Chariot reversed. Another group had that card too. Interesting. So let's see. Bottom of the deck is Wheel of Fortune upright. So group number 2, regardless of what has been in the past for you there and what recently has been going on, first off, I feel that is something that was really meant to happen in order to get you in a direction which is better for you. So I definitely get some energy here, which is about this happening for a reason. Is cheesy and cliche, it might sound. All of this happening for a reason. But I also feel you have experienced quite some very challenging aspects around connecting with others, like connecting with others in work and materializing something hasn't been necessarily easy for you in the recent past. So, and now again, I feel you are doing your best not to fall, I feel, into prejudice. On the other hand, I feel like for you, this tumultuous situation or aftermath of this scenario here, it's gonna last for some time. So let me clarify the Justice reversed. Okay. Yeah. I feel like somehow I get this notion that you, group number 2, you are very much good. Okay, we have the 4 of Wands and the 2 of Cups reversed here. Though we have like these cups here, and also I know a lot of people interpret the 4 of Wands in a somewhat marital context, but also with the Hierophant reversed here, it might actually lean in that direction. For some of you, some very particular cases, it might be even about a relationship. It might be. But I feel for a lot of you, it also might be about a non-romantic situation, but about a very important connection. I feel like a very important connection, either collective, like a team, or maybe a partnership, a business partnership, maybe a, not romantic, but very important human partnership and connection has either broken apart or it has very much transformed into something very different from what you might have seen it as for a long time. And I feel that connecting with others, also with the Three of Cups and this position, it has been, let me actually put another one here. Three of Cups. Three of Cups. Okay, we have the Mage here. Yes, I feel group number 2, you might have had those situations in the past now due to this thing, which has most likely occurred in your very personal space. So I feel, in fact, if this is for you about a relationship, it has very much made you, I think, very insecure of how you overall connect with people now, how you act around people now at this current moment. I feel that has now been somehow very blocked and very inhibited. And for those of you for whom it's not of romantic character, but one of those things that I described additionally, I feel it has had the same effect on you in the end. I feel like this has very much made it hard for you to meet people without prejudice, to meet people without, already being in this kind of fright and flight position and being very much like, yeah, when do I want to shut my gates again immediately? So somehow I feel for you this has been something that has first pushed you in a very, or is now pushing you in a direction where you are very much, put in a place, and in a place of emotion and mind which is very internal and which is very much about dealing with the aftermath of this on your own. So I see you definitely being a little bit more detached from social life than you would usually be as well. But let's see what your focal column is, what your focus could be within the next 10 days. But for you, I sense that this seems to be a major topic, because for the group previously, we also had security and stability as a topic. And I see it here in a way too, just in a very different light. But with the Chariot reversed, Chariot being the Cancer card, and somehow I feel for I'm curious about the other groups now, what's ahead, and if that's going to be a major theme. But I somehow sense this security and stability aspect playing in a very emotional place, which for you shines through in your social life at this moment, in your interaction with others and in your collaboration with others. And that is quite inhibited because of this situation here. So let's see. Let's give this a shuffle. And I'm going to use the Osho Zentaro here for you. So, sharing reversed. Okay. Success reversed, which is 6 of Wands in this deck. So it's depicting the 6 of Wands. And yeah, sharing reversed in a position which is, about challenges. And I feel this is a very major theme for you, group number 2. Socializing, sharing, especially like sharing in an emotional way. Let's take all of these. I feel like all of these have a message for you. Yeah, and what we can see is we have trust reversed. We have with the Eight of Swords, guilt here. Here we have consciousness. We have here abundance, and I feel all of this is very much, see, with trust reversed and all of that being kind of on top of that abundance card. It's very interesting how they fell out even. And yeah, with success reversed here. Yeah. I overall get a picture for you, group number 2, which is, I feel like you are very, you actually are not in such a bad place as you might think you are, or standing in such a bad light as you think you are. I feel like after this situation here, you yourself portray yourself or feel as someone who is, you know, taking bad decisions, maybe not treating others right, or, and you know, while I'm not saying that this 100% is not the truth, I mean, all of us have definitely not 100% perfect ways how we do things and how we go about things, and this is just a part of human existence. And I feel this is something that is like beyond discussion, that of course the possibility is there that you might have bruised someone off, or, you know, been not entirely the best colleague or the best friend at some point in the past. Of course, that is a possibility. But I feel like you portray yourself at the moment way worse than you actually deserve to somehow. Like, I don't feel like you are doing yourself justice with that, group number 2. I feel like you are closing yourself off very much, and you are like caving away, or are about to do this, to cave away and to kind of isolate yourself. Not like, some of you, not necessarily out of the healthiest and best reasons for you. Like, introspection is all nice and good, but like getting yourself ground up in this vicious circle of like guilt tripping and you know, digging into your notion of not having trust, and on the other hand being like, yeah, but I might have not been like the person causing much trust or stability in others either. And also maybe having this thing like, yeah, I do deserve this, or I do deserve that, or I do not. Like, I feel for some of you also this is a karmic situation or a karmic issue that you're resolving with a person. So with the Wheel of Fortune here, not everyone, but some of you. And I feel like you, group number 2, you could really benefit if you would maybe go a little bit easier on yourself in the next 7 to 10 days, you know? And I feel while taking some time for yourself is all fine and good and will definitely be fruitful for you, I see that being a good thing for you to do. But just make sure that you're doing this out of the right reasons, group number 2, because you don't need to isolate yourself or cave away. Whatever happened there, honestly, I feel like you are viewing yourself much worse than is actually fair towards you. While you might have done some stuff which wasn't like 100% all right, as also other people there most likely did. No need to put yourself as low and as down as you might doing on some days. So let's see, group number 2, how you can actually relax best and how you can maybe tap into a resting place and a recharging place, and what is maybe something that might be beneficial for you to do. Wait a second. I will first pull a shadow war card for you before we get into the treat yourself part, because I feel for you that might be really good. Obsession. We get obsession here, so let's look into the quotes in this book. But obsession talks a lot about as you even can see in the imagery here, it's this ladylike face, this elf looking into a mirror, which is really translucent and barely there. It talks a lot about self-image. So I feel like you aren't necessarily doing yourself justice, and it would be good for you to maybe dive into that and maybe ask yourself why you are viewing yourself in such a light as you are doing. So let's just get a peek into the quote for this card. So, there is nothing else that can replace my focus. All things lead to one, and then they disappear into one, until only that one remains. We chase comets and mirrors and shadows. Sometimes we actually chase cars or myths. Obsession is a trick of our perception. Many became one, and that one bloats as to take everything else. It feels like it, whatever it is, an idea, a person, an objective, flavors our life and gives meaning to it. As all the light through lens, it converges on a single point, and that point goes ablaze under the greatest fire. But in truth, more than enacting our life, it numbs our attention to the rest. It makes us feel more awake by hiding the rest of the world under a cloud of slumber. Obsession is a drug. In small doses it whips, in big doses it kills. If we drown inside an obsession, we should close our eyes. We don't die in the darkness, we just fall asleep, and then we can wake up more naturally. So yeah, root number 2, I feel for you this particular image or feeling that you are grinding onto is something that might even be kind of the root of it. Is kind of, I feel, back and forth and like a cycle situation where this internalizing and this entire out of proportion even feeling of guilt is kind of kicking you into not being able to let go of all of that, and that again pressures on the previous point. So I feel for you, let's not really see what you can do to kind of get out of that mindset which is so focused on this one point that is, I feel, wrecking you so much. So let's just see how to ease that. Number 2. Okay, ceremony. This card talks a lot about connecting with ancestors. Also has a very, ritualistic character to it, even in the depiction. And definitely some internal work, and again, spending time with yourself and your internal world and feelings, but in a way which is rejuvenating for you, which is energizing you. So not this thing which you are actually maybe sometimes falling into, which is again isolating yourself, keeping yourself away from or shielding away those things from others and from the outer world, and not like, I feel like you could use this time for yourself and this internal focus for something that is actually benefiting you, recharging you, making you feel better about yourself, get to know yourself better, and in the end give you the energy and the motivation and excitement to start something that actually will first off, I think, resonate with you more, and in that sense of giving you that notion of security, giving you that notion of abundance, that notion of stability, and help you, put this card here on top of all of that. And I feel like for you it is about here really reconnecting to yourself and to your inner self, to tap into the actual potential and resource that you really carry within. because I feel like this situation is very much overshadowing it. It's overshadowing it. But on the other hand, I feel this is actually a path that you are meant to go through, and you are meant to experience this maybe even negative obsession, not in order for that to stay in your life forever, or to, not that you need to suffer something that is, now in your life um, for all the continuous years or something. But I feel that is something that will help you to know yourself better, in order to understand different situations. I sometimes now got this thing that I had a hard time sometimes keeping focus on things, and I was really kind of starting to, I don't know, getting very much like in this energy, getting very over focused on some points in this reading. And I feel like don't do that. Like go and really spend time with yourself, but don't pressure yourself. Like try to heal all of this guilt and luggage that you have carried away from this situation here. And let me see just the energy. Yeah, let me see with this dice. Yeah, it's a 10. So we have Libra, and we have Neptune here, and we have Libra, Neptune, and 10. So I definitely feel for you, group number 2. You are somehow very clouded at the moment, very clouded. And it explains like this lack of focus, or something which I was talking now about. It is somehow a very challenging and very heavy energy. And group number 2, I really would advise you, let's pull some more cards for you. Connect with yourself for the right reasons. I keep getting that all the time. You might be also an air sign, and for you it might be very either strong fire or strong air placements. So moon, sun, and rising. Yeah, we get our forest and breathe card. Go out in nature, reconnect with your breath. Slow your breath down. Really connect with yourself. You are feeling so detached, group number 2. So lost in a way also. And I'm so sorry, because I really like to keep all of this like very positive. But for you, group number 2, I feel you are going through something very heavy at this moment. Yeah, but we get the rainbow card here. So, after all of this, in the end, there always comes out the sun again. It sounds very cheesy, very kitschy and all, but I feel for you, this is something, I feel like you, group number 2, you are, and I don't want to sound like evil or something, but I feel some of you are so desperate by now that you would even take this cheesy cliche thing to hold on to, and this is perfectly all right. Like, you just remember that really after this entire thing you're going through, there will come a period where you will have a new beginning. You will have light being shed on all of this, and maybe even recognizing the beauty in all of this. So I feel for some of you, though, it might actually be really about something romantic, but either way, it's a very important connection to you, and you are either you are walking away from it and finding new grounds for yourself, or that relationship, that connection is transforming. But it will be very rewarding in the end. Very rewarding. Just please, I advise you, keep not internalizing and penting up things, but spend some time with you in order to resolve these things, to heal these things, and just to gain a better understanding of yourself, to befriend yourself. I like this vision of you actually getting to know yourself as you would get to know a stranger even, and as you would befriend someone. Try to maybe approach yourself in that way and that manner. So group number 2, this is all I have for you. Thank you so much for tuning into this week's reading, and take good care of yourself during the upcoming days. And just remember, in the end of all this journey, there lies a huge reward for you, which will make you very happy. I am very sure of that. So thank you and see you in the next video. Bye!